The grand amphitheater was full. Thousands of aliens from hundreds of different planets sat in their seats, waiting for the meeting to begin. Some had tentacles. Some had wings. Some floated in the air like ghosts. The room buzzed with strange sounds as different species talked to each other in their own languages. Hyun sat in the human section, his hands folded on his lap. He wore his best diplomatic suit, dark blue with the Earth symbol on his chest. Next to him, taking up much more space, was Raksho. She was massive, almost the size of a small car. Her fur was deep black with silver streaks running down her back. She looked like a wolf, but bigger and stronger with intelligent golden eyes that watched everything. Hyun reached over and scratched behind Raksho's ear. She leaned into his touch, making a low rumbling sound of contentment. They had been bonded for 3 years now. Hyun could feel her emotions like they were his own. Right now she felt calm, but something else too. Something he couldn't quite understand. Ambassador Daeun sat on Hyun's other side. She was older, with gray streaks in her black hair. She had been working with aliens for 20 years. She glanced at Raksho and raised an eyebrow at Hyun. "Is she all right?" Daeun whispered. "I think so," Hyun said. But he wasn't completely sure. The meeting started. A tall alien with crystal skin stood at the center podium. Its voice echoed through the chamber like wind chimes. "Today we discuss mining rights in the outer sectors. The council must vote on—" Raksho suddenly stood up. Hyun felt her move before she did it. He grabbed her leg. "Wait," he said quietly. "What are you doing?" But Raksho was already standing. At her full height, she towered over most of the delegates nearby. Conversation stopped. Aliens turned to look. The crystal alien at the podium stopped talking. Then Raksho's voice filled the room. Not her actual voice, but her mind voice. Every creature in the amphitheater heard it inside their heads, clear and strong. "Attention, council members. I carry young. Human Hyun is my packmate. You should prepare. We are having puppies. Silence." Complete silence for 3 long seconds. Then the room exploded. Aliens jumped from their seats. Some shouted. Some made clicking sounds of distress. Others hissed or chirped or howled. The translator devices everyone wore struggled to keep up with all the different languages being spoken at once. "Order," the crystal alien shouted. "Order in this chamber." But no one listened. Hyun stood up slowly. His heart was pounding. He looked at Raksho. She looked back at him calmly, her golden eyes steady. "You're pregnant," he said out loud, even though he knew she could hear his thoughts. "Yes," her mind voice answered. "Just for him this time. For 2 months now. I wanted to tell you first, but the puppies insisted I tell everyone. They are very excited. The puppies can already talk to you." "Of course. They are my children." Ambassador Daeun grabbed Hyun's arm. Her face was pale. "Did you know about this?" "No," Hyun said. "I swear I had no idea." Another alien appeared at the podium. This one looked like it was made of floating crystals held together by purple light. Hyun recognized it immediately. Counselor Threxaval, head of the Genetic Preservation Authority. "This was not good. This is an outrage." Threxaval's voice boomed. "Genetic contamination laws clearly state that cross-species reproduction is forbidden. The human must be arrested immediately." "Wait," Hyun shouted. "You don't understand. It's not what you think." But security aliens were already moving toward him. Large creatures in dark armor carrying weapons that hummed with energy. Daeun stepped in front of Hyun. "Hold on. Under council law, we have the right to explain before any arrest is made." Threxaval's crystals pulsed with angry red light. "There is nothing to explain." "Laws are laws. Let him speak," someone shouted from the crowd. Hyun couldn't see who. The crystal alien at the podium looked confused and overwhelmed. This is highly irregular." Hyun took a deep breath. He put his hand on Raksho's shoulder. She was warm under his palm, her fur soft. He could feel her heartbeat, steady and strong. "The puppies aren't hybrids," Hyun said loudly so everyone could hear. "Veltrosians don't reproduce like most species. Raksho's people are empathic reproducers. The puppies are 100% Veltrosian, genetically pure, but their development is influenced by the emotional bonds around the mother." More confused sounds from the crowd. Many aliens didn't understand. "Explain in simpler terms," Daeun whispered urgently. Hyun nodded. "Raksho is carrying Veltrosian puppies. They have Veltrosian DNA. They will be Veltrosian in every way. But because she and I are bonded, because we share emotions and thoughts, the puppies have been exposed to human thought patterns while growing. They might be smarter or think differently than other Veltrosians. But they are still Veltrosians." Still a violation, Threxval insisted. You have corrupted a natural species with human influence. This cannot be allowed. Corrupted? Rakshow's mind voice cut through the noise like a knife. Everyone fell silent again. I chose this bond. Hyun is my packmate. On my world, pack is everything. These puppies are a blessing, not a corruption. Your world's traditions do not override council law, Threxval said coldly. Daeun stepped forward. Then we invoke Protocol 7, trial by evidence. We have the right to prove that no laws have been broken and no harm has been done. The crystal alien at the podium looked relieved to have a solution. Protocol 7 is acceptable. The council will grant 30 standard days for evidence to be presented. Until then, the human Hyun and the Veltrosian Raksho will remain on Nexus Station under observation. Under guard? You mean? Hyun said quietly. For everyone's safety, the crystal alien replied, not unkindly. Security aliens surrounded Hyun and Raksho. They weren't rough, but they made it clear there was no choice. Hyun and Raksho would be going with them. As they walked toward the exit, aliens stared at them. Some looked angry. Some looked curious. A few looked sympathetic. Haekon heard whispers in dozens of languages. Did you see the size of that creature? Humans bonding with animals, how primitive. But she seems intelligent. This will change everything. They reached the doorway. Just before they left, Hyun felt something strange. A new presence in his mind. Not Raksho, but smaller, younger. Actually, 4 different small presences. The puppies. They were reaching out to him through Raksho's bond. Their thoughts were simple but clear. Pack, safe, father. Hyun stopped walking. The security alien stopped too, confused. He looked at Raksho with wide eyes. She looked back at him, her golden eyes warm. Her mind voice was gentle when she spoke to him. I told you. The puppies speak to me already. They say they will be something new. Something the galaxy needs. Hyun swallowed hard. He had thought bonding with Raksho was the biggest change in his life. He had been wrong. How many? He asked. 4, Raksho answered. 2 males, 2 females. All healthy. All already so curious about the world. 30 days, one of the security aliens said gruffly. You have 30 days to prove this is acceptable. If you cannot, the pregnancy will be terminated. Hyun felt Raksho's fear spike. He felt his own anger rise. He put both hands on her head, looking into her eyes. That will never happen, he said firmly. I promise you. We will protect them. Raksho rumbled softly, a sound of trust and love. As they were led away to their temporary quarters, Hyun's mind was already racing. 30 days. They needed evidence, witnesses, experts. They needed to prove that love between species wasn't a crime. They needed to prove that family could be anything, as long as it was chosen with care and protected with courage. Behind them, the council chamber erupted into arguments again. The news was already spreading across the galaxy. A human and a Veltrosian were having puppies, the first interspecies family of its kind. Everything was about to change. The medical bay was cold and smelled like chemicals. Raksho lay on a large platform designed for creatures her size. Sensors surrounded her, beeping and flashing with lights. Hyun stood next to her, holding her massive paw in his hands. Dr. Jiho rushed into the room carrying 3 bags of equipment. He was breathing hard, his black hair messy from the shuttle ride. Sorry I'm late. Earth to Nexus Station is 14 hours even with the fast ships. Hyun smiled despite his worry. Jiho had been his friend since university. They had studied alien biology together. If anyone could help them, it was Jiho. Thank you for coming, Hyun said. Jiho set down his bags and immediately went to Raksho. He bowed respectfully. Hello, Raksho. I'm Dr. Jiho. I'm here to help you and your puppies. Raksho's mind voice was warm. Thank you, friend of Hyun. The puppies are excited to meet you. Jiho's eyes went wide. They can sense me already? They can sense everything, Raksho said. They are very aware. For the next 3 hours, Jiho ran every test he could think of. He scanned Raksho with machines that looked like floating rings. He took samples of her blood. He listened to the puppies' heartbeats with special equipment. Finally, he sat down at a computer console and studied the results. Hyun watched his friend's face change from curious to surprised to amazed. Well? Hyun asked. What do you see? Jiho turned the screen so Hyun could see. 4 small shapes showed on the display, curled up inside Raksho. 4 tiny puppies already formed and growing. They're perfect, Jiho said. Completely Veltrosian. Their DNA is pure, no human genetics at all. He pointed at different parts of the scan. But look here. Their brain structures. These patterns are more complex than normal Veltrosian puppies. Enhanced problem-solving centers. Better pattern recognition. They're going to be very intelligent. Because of the bond? Hyun asked. Because they've been exposed to human thought patterns since conception, Jiho explained. They're developing in an environment filled with both Veltrosian and human emotions, ideas, ways of thinking. It's incredible. It's like, he paused, searching for words. It's like they're learning 2 languages at once before they're even born. Ambassador Dayun entered the medical bay. Behind her walked a tall man in a dark uniform. He had sharp eyes and moved like a soldier. This is Investigator Minho, Dayun said. He's been assigned to our case by the council. He's supposed to be neutral. Minho bowed slightly. I go where the evidence leads. Nothing more. Hyun didn't trust him yet, but he nodded back. Minho walked around Raksho slowly, studying her. How long have you been bonded with the human? 3 years, Raksho answered directly into his mind. Minho flinched slightly at the mental touch, but recovered quickly. And you chose this bond freely? No coercion? I chose Hyun the moment I met him. He felt like home. Minho wrote something on his datapad. I need to visit Veltros. I need to speak with other members of your species about how reproduction works. The council must understand this fully. My mother is there, Raksho said quietly. Sharon. She is the pack leader, but she does not approve of my bond with Hyun. Why not? Minho asked. Because it is different. Because it has never been done before. Hyun squeezed Raksho's paw. We'll convince her. We have to. 2 days later, Hyun, Raksho, Daeun, and Minho took a ship to Veltros. The planet was beautiful from space, green and blue with swirling white clouds. As they descended, Hyun saw vast forests that glowed softly even in daylight. The trees were bioluminescent, shining with gentle blue and green light. They landed near a large structure made of living wood. Veltrosians moved around it in packs, dozens of the large wolf-like creatures working together, playing together, living together. Sharon waited for them outside the structure. She was even bigger than Raksho, her fur completely silver with age. Her eyes were the same golden color as her daughter's, but colder. Raksho approached slowly, her head low in respect. Mother, daughter, Sharon's mind voice was hard. You bring shame to our pack. You bond with an alien. You carry young influenced by a creature not of our world. I bring hope, Raksho said quietly. These puppies are strong, Mother. Stronger than any born in generations. Sharon turned her attention to Hyun. He felt her mind press against his, testing him, searching for weakness. He stood firm, meeting her golden gaze. You are small, Sharon said. Weak, soft. Why would my daughter choose you for pack? Hyun didn't look away. Because I love her. Because we make each other better. Because together we are stronger than either of us alone. Love. Sharon said the word like it was poison. We do not need love. We need pack. We need tradition. We need purity. Then why are your people dying? The words came from Elder Kyung. She had arrived on a separate shuttle and walked up behind them. She was old, her white hair tied back, but her voice was strong. Sharon turned to her. What do you mean, human elder? Elder Kyung pulled out a datapad and displayed statistics. Veltrosian birth rates have been declining for 50 years. Fewer puppies are born each generation. At the current rate, your species will be extinct in 200 years. Your traditions are killing you. Sharon's fur bristled. We have challenges, yes, but we will overcome them. We do not need human interference. You need new bonds, Elder Kyung said gently. Your pack bonds are weakening because your gene pool is too small. You need diversity. Not in your DNA, but in your emotional connections. Humans can provide that. Humans, Sharon said with contempt. What do humans know of bonding? Elder Kyung smiled. Everything. For thousands of years we bonded with wolves and created dogs. We bonded with horses and built civilizations. We bonded with cats and they taught us independence. We don't dominate. We companion. It's in our nature. Hyun stepped forward. Let me show you something. He walked up to Raksho and placed his hand on her head. He closed his eyes and opened his mind completely. He let Sharon feel what he felt. The love, the trust, the connection that went deeper than words. He shared memories. The first time he met Raksho when she was injured and alone. How he had helped her heal. How she had taught him about loyalty. how they had saved each other in 100 small ways every day. When he opened his eyes, Sharon was staring at him differently. "I have never felt such a bond," she said slowly. "Not even with my own packmates." "That's because humans bond differently," Elder Kyung explained. "We bond across barriers that other species see as impossible to cross. We see beyond what something looks like. We see the heart." Sharon was quiet for a long time. Then she sat down heavily. "Come, sit with me," they all sat. Even Minho, who had been watching everything carefully, recording everything on his datapad. Sharon looked at her daughter. "The truth is, Elder Kyung is right. We are dying, slowly but certainly. Each generation, fewer puppies survive. Those that do are weaker. We have been too isolated for too long." "Then let us help," Hyun said. "Not just Raksho and me. Let other humans bond with Veltrosians. Let us share what we know about bonding, about loyalty, about building family across differences." Sharon looked at Raksho's belly, where the 4 puppies grew. "And these young? What will they be?" "They will be Veltrosian," Raksho said firmly. "But they will also carry the wisdom of 2 species. They will be bridge builders, Mother. They will show others what is possible." Sharon stood up slowly. She walked to Hyun and lowered her massive head until her eyes were level with his. "If you fail to protect my daughter and her young human, I will hunt you across the stars." "I won't fail," Hyun said. "Then I will testify for you at the council. I will tell them that these puppies are our hope, not our corruption." Relief flooded through Hyun, but it was short-lived. Minho's communicator beeped urgently. He answered it, listened, and his face went dark. "We have a problem. Counselor Threxaval has been manipulating data. He's been trying to make the pregnancy look dangerous. I found evidence in the council archives." "Why would he do that?" Daeun asked. "Because he's jealous," Minho said. "His species, the Voidborn, lost the ability to reproduce naturally thousands of years ago. They can only make new Voidborn artificially. He sees natural bonding and reproduction as something precious that he can never have, so he destroys it in others." Hyun felt anger rise in his chest. "We need to expose him." "We will," Minho said. "At the trial. But there's more bad news. Threxaval has moved the trial schedule forward. We don't have 30 days anymore. We have 10. Raksho suddenly made a sound of pain. She stumbled and Hyun caught her. "What's wrong?" he asked urgently. "The puppies," Raksho said. Her mind voice was strained. "They are growing faster than expected. Something is wrong." Jiho immediately pulled out a medical scanner. He ran it over Raksho's belly and his face went pale. "We need to get back to Nexus Station now. The puppies' enhanced brains are developing faster than their bodies. If we don't monitor them closely, there could be complications." They rushed back to the ship. As they took off, Hyun held Raksho close, feeling her pain through their bond. The puppies' voices reached out to him, confused and scared. "Father? What's happening? Why does it hurt?" Hyun sent back feelings of safety, of protection, of love. "You're going to be fine. We're all going to be fine." But he wasn't sure he believed it. The High Court of Galactic Justice was even bigger than the council chamber. The walls were made of transparent crystal, showing the stars beyond. Thousands of aliens filled the seats, all watching as Hyun and Raksho entered. 3 judges sat at the highest platform. One was human, a stern woman named Judge Suman with gray hair pulled back in a tight bun. One was an alien that looked like living water, constantly shifting and flowing. The third was an artificial intelligence displayed as a sphere of golden light. Hyun wore formal clothes. Raksho walked beside him, moving slowly. Her belly was noticeably larger now. The puppies were growing fast, too fast. Their lawyer, a young woman named Yuna, met them at the defendant's table. She had sharp eyes and moved with quick energy. "Are you ready?" she asked. "As ready as we can be," Hyun said. Across from them sat Prosecutor Velthix, a crystalline being similar to Threxaval. But unlike Threxaval, Velthix seemed more sad than angry. He truly believed they were doing something wrong, but not from hatred. From fear. Judge Suman struck a resonating crystal with a small hammer. The sound echoed through the chamber. "This trial will determine whether the bond between human Hyun and Veltrosian Raksho violates galactic law, and whether the resulting pregnancy poses a threat to genetic diversity." "Advocate Yuna, you may begin." Yuna stood. "Thank you, Your Honors. The defense will show that no law has been broken. The puppies are genetically pure Veltrosian. The bond between Hyun and Raksho is consensual and beneficial. Most importantly, we will prove that this bond represents not a threat, but hope for species across the galaxy. Velthix stood when she sat down. The prosecution acknowledges that the puppies are genetically Veltrosian. However, their development has been influenced by human thought patterns. This sets a dangerous precedent. If we allow one species to influence another's offspring, where does it end? The galaxy's diversity could be destroyed by well-meaning interference. The trial began. Dr. Jiho was the first witness. He showed scans and data on holographic displays that floated in the center of the room. The puppies are developing enhanced neural pathways, better problem-solving abilities, enhanced empathy. These are improvements, not corruption. Velthix questioned him. But these enhancements come from human influence, correct? Yes, Jiho admitted. Then the puppies are not natural Veltrosians, and they are altered Veltrosians. They are evolved Veltrosians, Jiho corrected. Evolution happens through environmental influence. This is just a new type of environment. Elder Kyung testified next. She spoke about human history, about how humans and dogs evolved together, how both species became better through their bond. We didn't destroy wolves. We gave them a new path, and they gave us companionship, protection, and love in return. Velthix asked her, "But dogs are not wolves anymore, are they? You changed them." "They changed us too," Elder Kyung said. "Change is not destruction. Change is growth." The prosecution brought their own witnesses, scientists who showed simulations of worst-case scenarios. What if human-bonded Veltrosians became so superior that natural Veltrosians died out? What if every species wanted human bonds and their unique traits were lost? The court watched simulations showing galaxies where every species began to think alike, act alike. It was frightening. Then Yuna called a special witness. A small human girl walked to the witness platform. She was only 8 years old, with pigtails and a shy smile. Her name was Bora. Beside her walked a small alien that looked like a floating jellyfish made of light. It was called a whisper. Judge Suman leaned forward. "Child, do you understand why you are here?" "Yes, ma'am," Bora said quietly. "I'm here to talk about my best friend." "The whisper?" "His name is Cloudy," Bora said, reaching up to touch the floating creature. It pulsed with warm pink light. "We've been bonded since I was 5. "Tell us about your bond," Yuna encouraged. Bora's face lit up. "Cloudy was scared when we first met. His family had died and he was all alone. I was scared too. I had just moved to a new planet and didn't have any friends. But when I saw him, I knew we needed each other." "What changed after you bonded?" Yuna asked. "Everything," Bora said simply. "Cloudy helped me be braver. I helped him be happier. We learn from each other every day. He shows me how to think in different ways. I show him about laughing and playing. We're better together." Velthix approached gently. He wasn't cruel even now. "But young one, are you still fully human? Has the whisper changed you?" Bora thought about this seriously. "I'm still me, but I'm also more than I was." "Is that bad?" Velthix had no answer. The next day, Sharon arrived from Veltros. The huge silver Veltrosian walked to the witness platform with dignity. The court fell silent. Everyone knew who she was. "I am Pack Leader Sharon," she said, her mind voice strong. "I speak for all Veltrosians." "You opposed your daughter's bond with a human," Judge Suman said. "Has that changed?" "Yes," Sharon said. "I opposed it because it was different. Because I was afraid. But fear is not wisdom." She turned to look at Raksho. "My daughter's bond with Hyun is the strongest I have ever witnessed. The puppies she carries are blessed, not cursed. They may be our species' salvation." "Explain," the AI judge said, its voice like chimes. "We are dying," Sharon said bluntly. "Fewer puppies are born each generation. We have been too isolated, too pure. We need new bonds, new influences, not to corrupt our DNA, but to strengthen our spirits. Humans have this gift of bonding across barriers. We need them." Prosecutor Velthix stood. "So you would risk your species' identity to survive?" "Identity that leads to extinction is worthless," Sharon said firmly. "My granddaughters will be Veltrosian in every way that matters. But they will also carry wisdom from another species. That is strength, not weakness." On the third day, Raksho herself testified. She was tired, her pregnancy making movement difficult, but she insisted. "I chose Hyun," she said, her mind voice reaching everyone. "Before him, I felt incomplete. My people bond only with other Veltrosians. But those bonds felt shallow. When I met Hyun, I felt whole for the first time. Why? Judge Suman asked. Because he sees me, Raksho said. Not as an animal, not as a tool, as a person, as family. Humans have this gift. They see the person inside no matter what form it takes. But the puppies, Velthik said. Are they not proof that the bond goes too far? Raksho's golden eyes blazed. My puppies are proof that love creates miracles. They are hope. They are the future. They are everything good about what can happen when different species choose to care about each other. The courtroom was silent. Then Investigator Minho stood. I have evidence to present about Counselor Threxeval. He displayed files on the holographic screens. Communications, altered data, falsified reports. Threxeval had been manipulating evidence from the beginning, trying to make the pregnancy seem dangerous. Why would he do this? The water-like judge asked. Because he envies what he cannot have, Minho said. The Voidborn lost natural reproduction long ago. Threxeval sees bonds and natural birth as treasures he was denied, so he tries to destroy them in others. The court called Threxeval to explain himself. The floating crystal being appeared, his lights pulsing with agitation. Is this true? Judge Suman demanded. Threxeval was silent for a long moment. Then his lights dimmed. Yes, I cannot bond as others do. I cannot create life naturally. When I see it in others, I feel empty, angry. I wanted to punish them for having what I cannot. That is not justice, Judge Suman said coldly. That is cruelty. I know, Threxeval said quietly. I know. The judges announced they would deliberate overnight. Hyun and Raksho returned to their quarters under guard. That night, Hyun couldn't sleep. He lay next to Raksho, feeling her breathe, feeling the puppies move inside her. Are you scared? He asked her. Yes, she admitted. But I'm also hopeful. We have shown them the truth. Now we must trust that truth is enough. The puppies' voices touched Hyun's mind, all four of them at once. Father, we are not afraid. We know you will protect us. We are ready to be born. We are ready to show the galaxy what love creates. Hyun smiled in the darkness. Soon, he promised. Soon you'll be here, and we'll be a family. But he didn't know that soon would come much sooner than expected. The next morning, as they prepared to return to court for the verdict, Raksho collapsed. She cried out in pain, and Hyun felt it through their bond like a knife. The puppies, she gasped. They're coming. They're coming now. Dr. Jiho arrived within minutes, scanning her frantically. His face went pale. The puppies are in distress. Their enhanced brains are too large for normal birth. We need emergency surgery, now. But the verdict, Daeun said. The verdict won't matter if she dies, Jiho snapped. They rushed Raksho to the medical bay. As they ran through the corridors, aliens stopped and stared. Word spread quickly. The puppies were coming early. The trial would have to wait. But would Raksho and her puppies survive long enough to hear the verdict? Hyun ran beside the stretcher, holding Raksho's paw, feeling her fear and pain through their bond. Stay with me, he begged. Don't leave me. Never, she promised. Pack stays together. The medical bay doors closed behind them. The surgery began, and the entire galaxy waited to see what would happen next. The surgery room was bright and cold. Machines beeped and hummed all around. Raksho lay on a large medical platform, her breathing fast and shallow. Hyun stood at her head, his hands on either side of her face, his forehead pressed to hers. You have to leave, Dr. Jiho said. You can't be in here during surgery. No, Hyun said firmly. I stay with her. She needs me. It's too dangerous. If something goes wrong, I stay. Raksho's mind voice was weak. Let him stay. I need my packmate. Another doctor rushed in, a human man named Dr. Taeyong. He was older, with gray hair and steady hands. He looked at the scans and shook his head. The puppies' skulls are too large. Their enhanced brains developed faster than their bodies could accommodate. Standard Veltrosian birth canal can't handle this size. Can we save them? Hyun asked desperately. Can we save all of them? Dr. Taeyong and Dr. Jiho exchanged looks. We'll try, Dr. Taeyong said. But I need you to understand. We might have to choose. Raksho or the puppies. No, Hyun said. We save everyone. We don't choose. That's not realistic, Dr. Jiho said gently. Hyun looked at his friend with fierce eyes. I don't care. We save them all or we save none. Find a way. Raksho made a sound that was almost a laugh even through her pain. Stubborn human. Stubborn packmate, Hyun corrected. A nurse named Hana entered, carrying more equipment. She smiled at them despite the tension. "We're ready to begin. Hyun, if you're staying, you need to stand back and let us work." Hyun moved to Raksho's head. He kept his hands on her, maintaining contact. Through their bond, he could feel everything. Her fear, her pain, her determination, and beneath it all the four small presences of the puppies, confused and frightened. "Father," they called out. "What's happening?" "You're being born," Hyun told them through the bond. "You're coming to meet us. Be brave." The surgery began. Dr. Tae-young made the first incision. Raksho's body was different from most species. Her skin was tough, designed to survive harsh environments. Cutting through it required specialized tools. Another person entered the room quietly, Dr. Somin, a xenopsychologist. She specialized in studying telepathic bonds. She set up equipment near Hyun and Raksho's heads. "I'm monitoring the bond during surgery. If something happens, I need to know immediately." "What could happen?" Hyun asked. "The bond could break under stress," Somin said, "or intensify. Either could be dangerous." Hours passed. The surgery was complicated. Dr. Tae-young and Dr. Jiho worked together, carefully navigating Raksho's anatomy. They had received guidance from Veltrosian doctors through communication links, but no one had ever performed this exact procedure before. In the waiting area outside, a crowd had gathered. Ambassador Daeun sat quietly, her hands folded. Elder Kyung had arrived and sat beside her. Investigator Minho stood by the window watching the stars. Even Judge Suman had come, stepping away from deliberations to be present. More surprisingly, dozens of aliens had arrived. Species from across the galaxy, who had been watching the trial. They waited in silence, hoping for good news. Inside the surgery room, Dr. Tae-young reached the first puppy. "I've got her," he said carefully. She's bigger than I expected." He lifted the puppy free. She was beautiful. Silver fur, just like her grandmother Sharon. But she had unusual markings, patterns that looked almost like stars. Nurse Hana quickly cleaned the puppy and checked her vitals. "She's healthy. Strong heartbeat. Good breathing." The puppy's eyes were still closed, but her mind voice reached out immediately. "Pack, mother? Father?" Hyun felt tears on his face. "We're here. We're all here." The puppy they would later name Dami cried out, a small sound that filled the room with hope. The second puppy came easier. This one was smaller, with darker fur and a gentle presence. Nuri, they would call her. She was calm from the moment she was born, already peaceful. The third puppy had golden fur that shimmered in the light. Sola was quiet, observant, watching everything even with closed eyes through her other senses. But the fourth puppy was stuck. Dr. Tae-young's hands shook slightly. "She's positioned wrong. I can't get her out without causing damage." "To her or to Raksho?" Dr. Jiho asked. "Both." Raksho's heartbeat was getting weaker. The monitors started beeping faster. Her mind voice was fading. "Hyun," she whispered in his mind. "If you must choose, no," Hyun said out loud. "No choosing. We're Pack. Pack doesn't leave anyone behind." He closed his eyes and dove deep into the bond, deeper than he had ever gone before. He found Raksho's presence weak and flickering like a candle in wind. He wrapped his own presence around hers, protecting it, strengthening it. "Stay with me," he commanded. "That's an order from your packmate." Then he reached further, finding the fourth puppy. She was scared, trapped, unable to move. "Little one," he called to her. "I'm your father. I'm here to help you. Can you hear me?" A tiny presence responded. "Father, scared, I know. But you're strong. You're a fighter. Your name will be Haru, and it means spring, a time of new beginnings. You can do this." Move toward my voice. In the surgery room, Dr. Soman's equipment went wild. The bond is intensifying. Hyun's brain activity is off the charts. He's communicating directly with the puppy. "That's not possible," Dr. Tae-young said. "The puppy isn't born yet. She can't respond to external stimuli." "She's responding," Dr. Soman said, watching her screens in amazement. "She's moving." Inside the bond, Hyun felt the puppy shift. She was following his voice, his presence. "That's it. A little more. Come home to us." The puppy moved again. Dr. Tae-young felt it. "She's repositioning." "How is she doing that?" "Keep talking to her, Hyun," Dr. Jiho urged. "Come on, Haru," Hyun whispered. "Come meet your family. Come meet your mother who loves you. Come meet your sisters who are waiting. Come meet me. Please." With one final effort, the puppy shifted into the correct position. Dr. Taeyong was able to carefully extract her. She was the smallest of the four, but her cry was the loudest. "Got her," Dr. Taeyong said, relief flooding his voice. "She's out. She's breathing." Nurse Hana took little Haru and cleaned her. All four puppies are healthy. All four are perfect. But Raksho's monitors were still beeping urgently. Her heartbeat was dangerously slow. "She's losing too much blood," Dr. Jiho said. "We need to close her up fast." Hyun pressed his forehead harder against Raksho's. "Don't you dare leave me. Don't you dare leave our puppies. They need their mother." "I need you." Pack stays together. That's the rule. Raksho's mind voice was so faint he could barely hear it. "Tired, I know. But you can rest after you meet them. You have to meet our daughters. All four of them. They're beautiful. They're perfect. They need you to teach them how to be strong like you." Dr. Taeyong and Dr. Jiho worked faster than they ever had before. Their hands moved with precision, closing the incision, stopping the bleeding, stabilizing Raksho's condition. Minutes felt like hours. Finally, the monitors began to stabilize. Raksho's heartbeat grew stronger. Her breathing deepened. "She's going to make it," Dr. Jiho said, exhausted. "She's going to be okay." Hyun collapsed to his knees, still holding Raksho's head. He was shaking, crying, laughing all at once. Nurse Hana brought the four puppies over. They were wrapped in soft blankets, clean and warm. She carefully placed them around Raksho's head, where she could sense them. The puppies immediately cuddled against their mother and Hyun. Their mind voices, all four of them together, created a chorus. Mother, father, pack, home. Raksho's eyes slowly opened. They were tired but filled with love. "Our pack," she whispered. "Our pack," Hyun agreed. For a moment, the room was perfect. The doctor stepped back, giving the family space. The machines beeped steadily, no longer urgent. The four puppies nestled between their mother and father, safe and loved. Then the door burst open. Ambassador Dayun stood there, tears streaming down her face. Behind her, Elder Kyung, Investigator Minho, and dozens of others crowded to look inside. "They made it," Dayun said. "All of them made it." Word spread through the station instantly. In the waiting area, aliens of every species began to cheer. Some made sounds of joy. Others simply stood in silence, moved by what had happened. In the surgery room, Nurse Hana helped Hyun properly hold each puppy. First Dami, bold and already trying to wriggle. Then Nari, gentle and calm. Then Sola, observant and quiet. Finally Haru, the smallest, the fighter. "Hello," Hyun whispered to each one. "I'm your father. I'm going to protect you forever." Each puppy responded in her own way, nuzzling against him, their minds touching his with love and trust. Dr. Somin was still monitoring the bond. "This is incredible," she said softly. "The bond between Hyun and Raksho has extended to include the puppies. It's like a network. A family network. I've never seen anything like it." Later that night, after Raksho had been moved to recovery, Judge Suman visited. She stood at the doorway for a long time, just watching the family sleep. Hyun was curled up next to Raksho. The four puppies were nestled between them. "We've reached our verdict," Judge Suman said quietly. "Court reconvenes tomorrow morning." Hyun looked up at her, fear in his eyes. "And?" Judge Suman's stern face softened slightly. "Come to court tomorrow. Bring your family." She left without saying more, but something in her expression gave Hyun hope. Maybe, just maybe, everything would be okay. He looked down at the four sleeping puppies. Dami, Nari, Sola, Haru, his daughters. The courtroom was more crowded than ever before. Every seat was filled. Aliens stood in the aisles, packed together, all waiting to hear the verdict. Camera drones floated everywhere, broadcasting the trial to billions of viewers across the galaxy. Hyun walked in slowly. Raksho moved beside him, still weak from surgery but determined to be there. Nurse Hana followed, pushing a special cart that held the four puppies. They were 6 days old now, still small but already alert and aware. A hush fell over the crowd as they entered. Aliens who had never seen Veltrosian puppies before leaned forward, curious. The puppies looked around with closed eyes, sensing everyone through their telepathic abilities. The three judges entered. Judge Suman, the water-like alien, and the golden AI sphere. They took their seats at the high platform. Judge Suman struck the crystal. The sound echoed through the silent chamber. "We have reached our verdict," she said. Her voice was formal. But Hyun thought he detected something else underneath. This case has challenged us to examine our most fundamental laws about family, species, and the nature of genetic preservation. She paused, looking down at Hyun, Raksho, and the 4 puppies. The question before us was simple. Did human Hyun and Veltrosian Raksho break the law? The answer is no. Relief flooded through Hyun. He felt Raksho sag beside him. But Judge Suman wasn't finished. No laws were broken because the puppies are genetically pure Veltrosian. Their DNA has not been altered or corrupted. The bond between Hyun and Raksho is consensual and falls under interspecies companionship rights, which have existed in our legal code for centuries but were rarely used. The water-like judge spoke next, its voice like rain. However, we acknowledge that the puppies have been influenced by human thought patterns during development. This creates a new situation that our laws did not anticipate. The AI judge's voice chimed. We have determined that this influence is not harmful. In fact, evidence suggests it is beneficial. The puppies show enhanced cognitive abilities while maintaining their Veltrosian nature. Judge Suman continued. Therefore, we make the following rulings. First, the bond between Hyun and Raksho is legal and protected. Second, the 4 puppies are recognized as Veltrosian citizens. Third, Hyun is recognized as their legal guardian and packmate. Cheers erupted in parts of the courtroom. Judge Suman struck the crystal again for order. But we go further than simply ruling on this case. We establish new precedents for all of galactic society. She stood and her voice grew stronger. Cross-species bonding is now officially protected under galactic law. Any species that wishes to bond with another, as long as both parties consent, has the right to do so. Offspring resulting from empathic or psychic reproduction methods are recognized regardless of the parental species influence. The courtroom buzzed with excited conversation. Furthermore, Judge Suman said, we are creating a new organization, the Bureau of Interspecies Family Relations. Its purpose will be to support, study, and protect families like Hyun and Rakshos. Ambassador Daeun has agreed to lead this bureau. Daeun stood in the crowd, looking surprised but proud. She bowed to the judges. The water-like judge spoke again. We have also determined appropriate consequences for Counselor Threxeval's actions. Threxeval floated forward, his crystalline body dim with shame. Judge Suman looked at him. You manipulated evidence. You abused your authority. You acted from jealousy rather than justice. You are removed from your position on the Genetic Preservation Authority. Threxeval's lights pulsed with resignation. I understand. I accept this punishment. However, Judge Suman said, and her voice softened slightly, we offer you a choice. You can retire in disgrace or you can work with the new bureau. Use your knowledge to help other species who have lost natural reproduction. Turn your pain into purpose. Threxeval was silent for a long moment. Then his lights pulsed brighter. I would like to help. If they will have me, Hyun stood. Everyone looked at him. The bureau will have you. Everyone deserves a second chance. Everyone deserves to find their purpose. Applause filled the courtroom. Judge Suman smiled, something she rarely did. Then this court is adjourned. The family is free to go. As Hyun and Raksho turned to leave, something unexpected happened. Aliens began standing. One by one, then in groups, then entire sections. They stood not in protest, but in respect, in celebration. A small alien child broke free from her parent and ran up to the puppy cart. She looked at the 4 puppies with wide eyes. Can I pet them? Hyun smiled. Ask them. The child looked confused. Then the puppies' voices touched her mind, gentle and friendly. Hello, you can touch us if you're gentle. The child giggled and carefully petted Dami's soft fur. They're talking to me. More children approached. Then adults. Within minutes, the courtroom had transformed from a place of judgment to a place of celebration. Aliens of every species came to meet the puppies, to congratulate Hyun and Raksho, to witness history. Outside the courtroom, thousands more aliens waited. When Hyun and his family emerged, they cheered. Some held signs supporting interspecies families. Others simply wanted to see the puppies that had changed everything. The next 6 months passed quickly. The puppies grew fast. By 3 months old, they were already the size of large dogs. Their personalities became clearer every day. Dami was bold and adventurous, always exploring. Nari was gentle and kind, always helping others. Sola was quiet and thoughtful, always watching. Haru was small but fierce, never backing down from challenges. More importantly, they could do things no Veltrosian puppies had ever done before. They could communicate telepathically with any species, not just Veltrosians. They learned human language and learned to read. They solved complex problems that amazed researchers, but they were still puppies. They played and tumbled and got into trouble just like any young creatures. Hyun's life changed too. He took a new job with the Bureau of Interspecies Family Relations. His job was to help other humans and aliens form bonds. In 6 months, 27 new human Veltrosian bonds formed. Applications from other species poured in daily. Raksho became an advocate. She traveled between Veltros and Nexus Station, teaching her people about bonding with humans. Many Veltrosians were afraid at first, but when they saw how healthy and happy Raksho's puppies were, they became curious. Sharen, Raksho's mother, bonded with a human scientist. She admitted she had been wrong about many things. Sometimes survival requires us to embrace what is different, she said. Dr. Jiho published papers about the puppies' development. Scientists across the galaxy studied them, fascinated by how two species could influence each other so positively. Even Threxaval found redemption. Working with human researchers, he developed methods to help Voidborn form emotional connections again. His first success was a friendship bond between a Voidborn and a human artist. When Threxaval felt that bond through their research equipment, he cried for the first time in his long life. Young Bora, the girl who had testified with her whisper companion, became famous. Children across the galaxy watched videos of her and Cloudy. A new generation was growing up believing that friendship had no boundaries. One evening, 6 months after the trial, Hyun sat in their quarters with his family. Raksho rested beside him. The 4 puppies, now large and energetic, played together in the corner. Ambassador Dayun visited with news. Earth's government wants to start an ambassador puppy program. They want Veltrosian puppies raised with human bonds to work at diplomatic missions across the galaxy, symbols of unity. Before Hyun could respond, Dami's voice filled everyone's mind. I will go. I want to be an ambassador. Everyone laughed. Dami was always the first to volunteer for new adventures. When you're older, Hyun said, scratching behind her ears. When you're fully trained. Haru, the smallest, looked up at Hyun with intelligent eyes. Father, did we change the galaxy? Hyun thought about this carefully. He looked around at his family, then out the window at Nexus Station where thousands of ships from hundreds of species came together. No, little one, you just reminded the galaxy of something it had forgotten. That family isn't defined by what you look like or where you come from. It's defined by who you choose to love and protect. Raksho's mind voice was warm and content. Our pack, Hyun corrected her gently, thinking of all the friends and allies they had made. Everyone's pack now. The puppies curled up around Hyun and Raksho. Nari hummed softly. Sola closed her eyes peacefully. Haru yawned. Dami was the last to settle, still looking around excitedly. Tell us a story, Father, Dami requested. Tell us about Earth and the wolves who became dogs. So Hyun told them. He told them about how, thousands of years ago, humans and wolves found each other. How they learned to hunt together, live together, love each other. How both species changed and grew and became better together. And that's what we can do for the galaxy, Hyun finished. We can show everyone that differences make us stronger, not weaker. That family is a choice, not an accident of birth. Later, after the puppies had fallen asleep, Hyun and Raksho stood by the window. They watched ships come and go, each one carrying people from different worlds, different species, different ways of life. Do you remember when we first met? Raksho asked. Every detail, Hyun said. You were injured, alone, scared.